My name is Aubrey Figueroa, and I will be doing a presentation on indie pop music, more specifically its history and what it is, with some examples of songs. Alrighty, first, what is indie pop music? Indie pop is obviously a music genre with an emphasis on guitar pop or jangle pop and a DIY ethic. The DIY ethic promotes doing things without an expert, which creates a homemade and unpolished sound. Bands of the time period were created without the expectation of being signed on a major record label. Guitar pop, or jangle pop, is a style with an emphasis on funky sounding guitar with clean, shimmering, arpeggiated tone. Alrighty, when and where was it created? It became popular in the late 1970s. It was based on a British post-punk movement. It is largely agreed that the indie pop movement was started or further solidified as a genre in Scotland due to the record label Postcard Labels, which had a large influence on C86, which I will talk about in a little bit. However, first, I will be performing an early indie pop song. It is by the Velvet Underground, an American rock band created in 1964. Technically, it would be considered more indie than indie pop. They released their first studio album, The Velvet Underground and Nico, in April 1966, which was largely popular due to its largely unpopular, due to its, quote, abrasive, unconventional sound and controversial lyrical content, unquote. The song I will be singing, After Hours, is from their third studio album, released in 1969. The primary songwriter of the band, Lou Reed, was influenced mostly by avant-garde jazz, rock and roll, and pop music. The Velvet Underground's music would technically be considered more indie rock than indie pop, though this song is an early example of guitar-centric indie pop music.
If you close the door, the night could last forever. Leave the sun shine out and say hello to never. All the people are dancing and they're having such fun. I wish it could happen to me. But if you close the door, I'd never have to see the day again. If you close the door, the night could last forever. Leave the wine glass out and drink a toast to never. Oh, someday I know someone will look into my eyes and say hello. You're my very special one. But if you close the door, I'd never have to see the day again. Dark party bars, shiny Cadillac cars, and the people on subways and trains, looking gray in the rain as they stand disarrayed. Oh, but people look well in the dark. And if you close the door, the night could last forever. Leave the sun shine out and say hello to never. All the people are dancing and they're having such fun. I wish it could happen to me. 'Cause if you close the door, I'd never have to see the day again. I'd never have to see the day again. Once more, I'd never have to see the day again.
Alrighty, now why and how? Indie pop music was created in direct opposition to the mainstream pop music of the late 70s. It had more of an emphasis on DIY ethic, which I touched on, which made creating a band more accessible to the wider public. It contrasted the gritty and serious tones of underground rock, while also being a departure from the contemporary pop music of the late 70s. Now, I've talked about C86 just a little bit, but now we're going to talk about what C86 is. It's a 1986 music cassette compilation by New Musical Express, or NME, a British pop culture website, magazine, and brand. It was designed to reflect the new music scene of the time period. While largely regarded as the beginning of indie music, there are many people who disagree that it was an influence on indie pop music at all. This could be attributed to a couple different things. NME would often discover new musical subgenres to increase the interest of weekly readers. It was agreed upon by many journalists of the time period that C86 was no different. Another writer for NME stated that he believed C86 was unrepresentative of the times, as well as the music it was supposedly representing. Now, what do I think? First of all, here's the track list of C86. Do I think C86 was an influence on indie pop music? I'm honestly not sure. I feel that it's important to say that I could not find all of the songs on C86, which are marked by asterisks on this list, but I found and listened to as many as I could. While I listened to the compilation, I noticed a lot of jingly guitars and more DIY sounding music, as you can hear in Law, which is the song that we're listening to right now. It's by Mighty Mighty, and it is the 6th track on C86. It is equally important to note that I clearly was not alive during this time, so I don't have any opinion on the claim of the music not being representative of the time. I can't definitively say if C86 was or was not an influence on or the beginning of indie pop music either. I can say, however, that there are characteristics of both indie rock and indie pop in C86, which are close counterparts that I will get into in just a second. I wouldn't be surprised, or I can honestly see where both sides are coming from. I wouldn't be surprised if C86 was a heavy influence on indie pop, and I also wouldn't be surprised if indie pop was just indie rock, repackaged by NME under a different name. I highly recommend listening to C86, as I discovered some cool songs and bands that I would not have known about otherwise, such as Law, and also Buffalo by Stump. Okay, now we're going to get into some subgenres. We've got subgenres and counterparts. So the first counterpart is indie rock, as you can see, and then twee pop and chamber pop are both subgenres of indie pop. Alrighty, first, indie rock. Indie rock is a counterpart of indie pop music. Compared to its counterpart, indie rock is less melodic, more abrasive, and the lyrics cover more angsty themes. It also comes from the idea of creating music yourself, with a heavy display of DIY ethic. This genre is a catch-all net of many styles of music, including bands with hard edges and grunge influences, and punk folk singers. A couple examples of some indie rock artists you may or may not know: The Strokes, The Smiths, Modest Mouse, and Arctic Monkeys. Right now we are listening to Where Is My Mind by the Pixies, which is a very popular indie rock song. Ready? Next we're going to get into chamber pop, or baroque pop. It is a subgenre of indie pop that combines rock-style music with strings, horns, piano, and vocal harmonies. There is an emphasis on the melody as well as the texture of the music. It has many components drawn from lounge pop of the 1960s. Another close counterpart of chamber pop music is baroque pop, which has similar characteristics. Think Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. A couple examples of some artists that have this style of music: The Beach Boys, Love, The High Llamas, and Elf Power. Right now we are listening to French Navy by Camera Obscura. As you probably heard, there were some violin-like strings, and that makes it chamber pop. Finally, we're gonna talk about twee pop. Twee pop is a subgenre of indie pop that's known for boy-girl harmonies, catchy melodies, and lyrics about love. It's based on the twee aesthetic, appreciated for its simplicity and childlike nature. As you can see, Zooey Deschanel is up here twice. While she was in the show New Girl in 2011, she was kind of the face of the twee aesthetic. Twee pop was said to be heavily influenced by C86. Couple artist examples are Tallulah Gosh, The Softies, Tiger Trap, and Beat Happening. Right now we are listening to I Fell in Love Last Night by Heavenly. So you can hear it's kind of dreamy. Alrighty, and now going to sing a song. Yeah. My second song is an indie pop song in the twee pop subgenre. It is by the Scottish band Belle and Sebastian, created in 1996. They recorded and released their first album over 3 days in the same year, called Tiger Milk. I'm singing the song Piazza New York Catcher from their sixth studio album, Dear Catastrophe Waitress, which was released in 2003. While not considered a staple of twee pop, the song has many twee pop characteristics. Due to the band's association with the genre, it still falls under the twee pop genre.
Elope with me, Miss Private, and we'll sail around the world. I will be your Ferdinand and you my wayward girl. How many nights of talking in hotel rooms can you take? How many nights of limping round on pagan holidays? Oh, elope with me in private and we'll set something ablaze, a trail for the devil to erase. San Francisco's calling us, the Giants and Mets will play. Piazza, New York, catcher, are you straight or are you gay? We hung about the stadium, we've got no place to stay. We hung about the Tenderloin and tenderly you tell about the saddest book you've ever read. It always makes you cry, the statue's crying too, and well he may. I love you, I've a drowning grip on your adoring face. I love you, my responsibility has found a place beside you, and strong warnings in the guise of gentle words come wave upon me from the family wide and net absurd. You'll take care of her, I know it, you will do a better job, maybe, but not what she deserves. Elope with me, Miss Private, and we'll drink ourselves awake. We'll taste the coffee houses and award certificates, a privy seal to keep the feel of 1960s style. We'll comment on the decor and we'll help the passerby. And at dusk when work is over, we'll continue the debate in a borrowed bedroom, virginal and spare. The catcher hits for 318 and catches every day. The pitcher puts religion first and rests on holidays. He goes into cathedrals and lies prostrate on the floor. He knows the drink affects his speed. He's praying for a doorway back into the life he wants. The confession of the bench. Life outside the diamond is a wrench. I wish that you were here with me to pass the dull weekend. I know it wouldn't come to love my heroine pretend. A lady stepping from the songs we love until this day. You'd settle for an epitaph like Walk Away Renee. The sun upon the roof will draw you out like a flower. Meet you at the statue in an hour. Meet you at the statue in an hour.
Now we're going to talk about who indie artists are and what indie is today, indie pop. There are so many indie pop artists that existed both in the late 1970s as well as today, and all of the time in between. Today, indie pop is a genre that is almost impossible to describe. Generally, it's an umbrella term to describe DIY scenes leaning into a pop style, usually characterized by catchy melodies, upbeat tempos, and electronic elements. It is also generally combined with the indie label, as the two are both so vast. A couple examples of artists today that are very popular, indie pop artists, Chappell Roan, Phoebe Bridgers, Suki Waterhouse, and Lizzie McAlpine, which you may or may not have heard of. This is according to the Music Metric Vault, which uses Spotify metrics. They're not always that accurate, but still. Now we are going to talk about more popular indie pop artists, ranging in popularity from relatively underground to semi-popular to relatively widely known. Alrighty, first we're going to talk about the Beths. The Beths is a New Zealand indie rock band that was formed in 2014. The current members include Elizabeth Stokes, the vocalist, who the band is named after, Jonathan Pierce, the guitarist, Benjamin Sinclair, the bassist, and Tristan Deck, the drummer. They released their debut EP, Warm Blood, in March of 2016, releasing their debut album, Future Hates Me, after being signed to Car Park Records in 2018. Their notable influences include Always, Rilo Kiley, and Bully. I'm singing an acoustic version of the song When You Know, You Know from their third studio album, Expert in a Dying Field, released in 2022.
Ooh, ooh, walking on a wire, and all the while aspiring to keep my level eye from looking down. Your beauty in the fore, a new unfolding story arc, a new month I could keep going toward. But if you won't commit to the expedition, I could go alone on a solo mission. Never seen a heart in a worse condition, pinning all my hopes to the wrong pincushion. But if you wanna try, we could leave it all tonight. We could be a glow in the street light, running down the road to jog the memory. Like tit for tat, that is you for me. And it's quite a cost, but nothing comes for free. But when you know, you know, you know it's meant to be, meant to be. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It takes all of my restraint, not climbing in your cranium to observe the way the furniture's arranged. Scratching at the door, they're gonna call security, so I can't creep around here anymore. But I can see a way to a new horizon, squinting through the clouds till it burns my eyes. And every other star is the sun that's rising, and every other word I'm apologizing. But I just wanna know, is this where you wanna go? You and me aglow in the cosmos, running down the road to jog the memory. Like tit for tat, that is you for me. And it's quite a cost, but nothing comes for free. But when you know, you know, you know it's meant to be, meant to be. Running down the road to jog the memory. Like tit for tat, that is you for me. And it's quite a cost, but nothing comes for free. But when you know, you know, you know it's meant to be, meant to be. And all morning I've been crying in the rain. This theater I've been trying to contain, yeah, it all could fall apart eventually. But when you know, 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 you know. To be.
Alright, next we're going to talk about Adrienne Lenker. Adrienne Lenker is the lead vocalist, guitarist, and songwriter of the band Big Thief, as well as a solo artist. She taught herself to play guitar, writing her first song at age 8, and recording her first album at age 13. She released her first solo album, Stages of the Sun, in 2006, while she was just 14 years old. I will be singing Forwards Beckon Rebound, a song from her fourth and fifth studio albums, Songs and Instrumentals, written in 2020 during the COVID pandemic. The song had a bigger I'm going to do this part again. Next, I'm going to be talking about Adrienne Lenker. Adrienne Lenker is the lead vocalist, guitarist, and songwriter of the band Big Thief, as well as a solo artist. She taught herself to play guitar, writing her first song at age 8, and recording her first album at age 13. She released her first solo album, Stages of the Sun, in 2006, when she was just 14 years old. I will be singing Forwards, Beckon, Rebound, a song from her 4th and 5th studio albums, Songs and Instrumentals. Written in 2020 during the COVID pandemic, this album had a bigger emphasis on acoustic sound as well as traditional folk songwriting and improv.
Over the Dead Sea, keeping you company, thinking I'm not afraid of you now, I'm not afraid of you now, letting my eyes close, shedding my soft clothes, wind blows, wind that howls like a hound, wind that laughs like a clown, mystery of leg, stabbing stars through my back, forwards, beckon, rebound, forwards, beckon, rebound, virtual bedroom, rise like a full moon, show me pictures that hang in your house, pictures that hang in your mouth, incandescent insects, crosses and fishnets, I have nothing to pray to you now, nothing to pray to you now, mystery of black, stabbing stars through my back, forwards, beckon, rebound, forwards, beckon, rebound. Pulling your face close, wanting the inmost, show me I'm not afraid of you now, I'm not afraid of you now, villain and violent, infant and innocent, baby, both arms cradle you now, both arms cradle you now, mystery of black, stabbing stars through my back, forwards, beckon, rebound, forwards, beckon, rebound, forwards, beckon, rebound.
And finally, I'm going to finish with talking about Biba Doobie. Biba Doobie started writing music at age 17, releasing her first song, Coffee, in 2017. She released her first album, Fake It Flowers, in 2020 after releasing a string of EPs released from 2018 to 2019. Her most notable indie influences include Elliott Smith, Mac DeMarco, The Beatles, and Pavement. Her 90s alternative rock and shoegaze influences include The Cure, The Smiths, and The Smashing Pumpkins. She has been a supporting act for both the 1975 during the Music for Cars tour and Clairo during her Immunity tour. I am singing The Way Things Go, a song that came between her 4th and 5th studio albums from a succession of singles released in 2023.
And there's so much left to say, I guess I'm just the bigger guy. And there's too much on my mind that I don't even want to try. Guess it's not far from the ordinary. They do say love is blind, but I guess that's the way things go. Can't remember how to say your name, let alone count all the freckles on your face. A distant memory I used to know. Oh, guess that's just the way things go. Oh, I guess that's just the way things go. Can't remember when you said you'd called, miles away, and it was still my fault. The love you said you had, it sometimes showed. Oh, I guess that's just the way things go. Oh, I guess that's just the way things go. And there's so much left to say. I guess I'm just the bigger guy, and there's too much on my mind that I don't even want to try. Guess it's not far from the ordinary. They do say love is blind, but I guess that's the way things go. Didn't think you'd ever stoop so low, getting with the only girl you know. A lousy rap that only makes me say, that's pretty lame, but that's the way things go. Oh, I guess that's just the way things go. Past your house when I was on a train. In my mind you'll always stay the same. I'm happy now, I ought to let you know, but I guess that's just the way things go. Oh, I guess that's just the way things go. And I don't mind that that's the way things go. I don't mind, 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 I don't mind. Oh, I guess that's just the way things go. Oh, I guess that's the way things go.
Alrighty. In conclusion, indie pop has come a long way from the late 1970s, but the core elements, catchy melodies, emotional storytelling, and the independent spirit remain strong as ever. As a diverse and expansive genre, indie pop is bound to continue evolving. Even as it changes, indie pop will always be a space for creative expression and authenticity. Thank you. Thank you for listening and learning with me. Bye.